Hi, my name's Ethan. I'm an ex-student at John Henry. I left in 2016 to go off and fulfil my dreams at university, and I've just been asked to tell you a little bit about how I've got to where I am now. So I hope you find it interesting. I'm currently a pre-registration pharmacist over at the Lister Hospital. It's a stepping stone for a career in pharmacy where you do a 4-year integrated master's degree, followed by this year of pre-registration pharmacy, and then at the end of that you sit a registration exam and you hopefully become a pharmacist. And there are lots of different roles for a pharmacist, but my particular interest is in hospital pharmacy. So as I was saying, I left John Henry in 2016. I was very sad to leave John Henry. I was very close with the people there, and being there so long, it's a big shock to know that you're leaving as it's fast approaching. But I was going off to university at UEA. I didn't quite get the grades I wanted at the end of my exams in sixth form, but actually it kind of opened more doors up for me than it shut, because towards exam day I was starting to have a lot of doubts about whether I'd applied to the right thing. And so through clearing I was able to get a really good place at UEA for pharmacy. And I don't regret it at all because I've had a really, really good time. UEA is a really lovely university. That's not what this video is about, but if it's something you're considering, I'm happy to answer questions about it. But yeah, I was scared going off to university. I was moving into a flat of 14 people with only 2 showers, so it's you learn a lot of life skills very quickly. And how to look after other people, how to look after yourself, how to clean, to say the least. And but overall my uni experience is very good. It's very different to what a lot of people's university experience would be. Some of my housemates would have maybe 10 to 12 contact hours a week. I would regularly have 24, 25 on top of all my other assignments and group work and presentations to be doing, and placement at hospitals or community pharmacies. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but it's another one of those degrees that's got that kind of work hard, play hard ethos, so you do have a lot of fun on the degree. My role now as a pre-reg pharmacist is to prepare myself to be a pharmacist, so I have different rotations on different areas of the hospital. At the moment I'm on a respiratory ward, but in a few weeks' time I'll be in a paediatric ward, or in the medicines information department, or various other things. All of these departments need different skills, and pharmacy, whilst it does have that very knowledge-based aspect of it, being able to tell what drugs do what and kind of knowing what's safe, there is a big emphasis on communication skills with people, being able to build rapport with patients very quickly, and gain their trust, because a person's health is very personal to them. So in order for them to open up and tell you about it, sometimes things that they might find very embarrassing or they just don't particularly enjoy talking about, that's the information in my job that I'm trying to get from people. So there are times when a patient will be uncomfortable, there'll be times when I'm uncomfortable, and it's all part of the role, is staying professional, maintaining that professional confidentiality and talking to patients appropriately. There's also a big emphasis on time management. Just as part of my year, I have to provide 5 pieces of evidence each for 72 different skills, which are kind of important to my role in the future, alongside preparing for this registration exam, alongside what is essentially another year of a course, because the pre-reg course, while it is in the Lister Hospital, it is overseen by a university, and so there would normally be residentials, although this year they are all over the computer for fairly obvious reasons. So it's a role that really requires time management, and if you kind of let that one go, then you can put yourself in quite a bad place. But it's the same time management skills that you are kind of taught at John Henry, or not so much taught on paper, but you're encouraged to develop yourselves. And so the skills that you could benefit from trying to gain now. So there's communication, time management, just overall professionalism and various kind of other base skills like that. But those kind of soft leadership skills, things like that, they're so important for this career. And the things that make a good pharmacist versus a bad pharmacist is not just do they know the clinical side, because we have this exam. So if you've passed that exam, you know enough clinically to practice as a pharmacist. But being able to talk to patients, being able to be a good leader, to manage people, to be responsible, speaking up when things go wrong, and that like patient-centered care provision is one of the main aspects of pharmacy. COVID has changed my role, not drastically. Because this is a new role for me, I've not really seen the before and after effect of it, but I know COVID has changed the role. With the residentials, which are now, I work from home on a computer for those weeks, but also on the ward we have different rankings for the likelihood of someone having COVID, each patient, and so for each one you have to gown up and don and doff PPE in different ways. There are some people which for obvious reasons we just can't go in and talk to, and for those I still have to be able to communicate with them, but there's a barrier there, so I might find different strategies in order to get information from patients. And actually I have had situations where I've been on the outside of a door on the phone with someone on the inside asking them about the medication that they take on the day-to-day and kind of waving and so on, because even communicating with a mask on can be difficult if someone relies on lip reading. So there are different strategies that we have to adopt quite quickly, and perhaps as things either get better or get worse, my role will change further, hopefully for the better, but you never know. Worth mentioning as well before I go that pharmacy obviously does open a lot of these doors. While I'm looking at hospital pharmacy, there's community pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, there's kind of writing guidelines for practitioners, or there's commissioning treatments in different areas, and like overall supervision of chains of stores. So there's a lot of different skills and a lot of different roles that can be used. And also, if you're not someone who really thinks that university is for them, but you are kind of interested in pharmacy, the role of a pharmacy technician is one that is often underestimated, and actually it is a really, really important role. There is a course that you go through to get onto it, but it's not a university course, it's done through work, kind of like an apprenticeship. And it's a very, very rewarding job, and actually there are roles which can be like far above a pharmacist in the pharmacy technician role. So it's definitely worth looking into if that's something that you'd be interested in. While I'm not one myself, I can kind of gather information for people if they have questions about that. And if you have questions about pharmacy in general, please don't hesitate to ask them through your teachers. They've got my contact details. And I believe they're trying to set something up in the future if people have some questions. And I will be coming in shortly to talk about Antimicrobial Awareness Week, as long as things kind of stay safe at the moment. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk about what I do to you guys, and I hope it's been helpful for you.